It is the Chicago Podcast. I'm Brendan Greeley.
I headed straight down for Chicago. When I revved 294, I was thinking about your front yard and your face behind the door. And every page I leave unmarked is waiting for your picture. And every seat I sit beside, I feel like I am right here with you, babe. This is a crazy love. You better watch your mind.
Anderson, Second City, improviser, actress, all of the above.
Yes, comedian, improv teacher, woman about town.
And currently, where can people see you?
Right now, they can see me performing with the touring company at the Second City National Touring Company. So here in Chicago and also around the country. And I'm also the producer and creator of the show Doing Our Moms at the IO Theater down the street, first Wednesday of every month.
Tell us about Doing Our Moms.
Yes, Doing Our Moms, I put on a wig and I impersonate my mom as if she hosted a comedy show, which she never would. She's a very shy lady and is very baffled that she produced a performer as a child. But I host the show, and then I invite a handful of other comedians to come and do impressions of their moms or do storytelling about their moms. Somebody did a PowerPoint about their mom one time. And just laugh at the vast array of women that raised us. I found that moms often are not the center of comedies. They're often the side characters, and they're often the mechanism that stops fun from happening. And I was like, well, that's not. They're funnier than that. So I want to shine some light there.
That's an endlessly fun idea. Has your mom seen the show?
Yes, she's seen it twice, and her assessment is that I love the show. I love the show. Your friends are so talented. Watching you is uncomfortable. And I don't wish to be there.
Does she find your impression accurate?
No, she doesn't. She understands that I don't know. I would die if I'm lucky enough to have a child. Then I hope my child never does this to me. So.
Oh, Emily, that is not how I sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're from Pennsylvania?
Yes, Pennsylvania.
All right. The Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, in between?
Philadelphia area, yeah. A town called Downingtown, but it's the kind of thing like where if you're from Naperville, you're like, I'm from Chicago, but you're not. Anyway.
And you started performing there?
Mostly just like a little high school there, but then studied theater at Northwestern. So that's how I came over to the Midwest and really started performing. And that's where I discovered improv, and then started driving down once a week to see TJ and Dave at IO. And started being like, oh, I got to learn where they learned, and started being an intern at Second City and taking classes everywhere. So, yeah.
And when like, to people that aren't in the improv world, you say the word Second City, and they sometimes, like, because of the fame and success that a lot of alums have come to see, they immediately think of it as some think of it as like a jumping off point, like, oh, it's a launching pad to something else. But I think it is much more than that. Like just as an establishment itself, it's very important to Chicago, and just it itself is the peak of comedy.
Yeah. I mean, this is the birthplace of American improvisational theater. Chicago itself is. Do you know about of Viola Spolin and that lineage? Yeah. So if you don't, she's the mother of Paul Sills, one of the founders of the Second City, and she developed improvisational games for children at Jane Addams Hull House here in Chicago. So the bulk of the improv games that we use to teach people here now, and that we use to inspire performance now, and that launched all these careers of these people, were originally just games for, recent immigrant children, often who didn't share a language, who were trying to be taught to learn personal expression and learn to come out of their shells. And I just think that that's very beautiful, that it's an art form that is not about product, it's about connection between people. And and I'm really proud to be here at the heart of it.
Wow, that is beautiful. Did you notice how when you said you know the story, and I was just like, yeah, and I clearly didn't. I clearly didn't.
I would have said the same thing. I would have said the same thing. Listen.
Oh yeah, I know all about it. And then you went on to say this beautiful Chicago story that I would have missed out on if you didn't power through that. So thank you for doing that.
I haven't been to Hull House. I still haven't done the full. My knowledge doesn't go much deeper than that. So,
Right on. All right, so you've got how many nights a week are you either doing improv, sketch, or different shows around the city or beyond?
right now it's anything between like 7 shows a week, which is rare, and 1 show a week, which is a little bit more common. And with the touring company, sometimes like the 7-show thing is like, we've been booked and we're going to, where were we recently? Outside of DC. And so we're just at a little residency for a handful of days and you're doing shows every day or a couple shows in a day. And then there's like this week, which I think technically we only have 1. We have a show tonight at 8. I think that's the only show we have this week. And then, I'll do a show like the Armando at I.O. Have you ever been to the Armando?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Should do it. You should be the monologist sometime.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Maybe there's a podcast episode in that. Or doing our moms or just another random, one-off show. So a range.
Yeah. Chicago, we're the kind of the mecca of improv, I'd say, not biased at all. And but when you go to towns that don't have as like maybe smaller towns that aren't used to getting a second city level show, what's the response like?
It's the first place that we went to Anchorage in Alaska in January. I'm pretty new to this particular job, the touring company. I was understudying the touring company last year, and this year is my first year as a core cast member. So it's pretty recent, but we're in Anchorage. We came in, we traveled like 12-hour day and went immediately to this ramen place that everybody was recommending. And then a lady from another table came up to us and was like, "Are you the Second City? We're coming to your show tomorrow. We're so excited. This is my husband." And it was like, whoa, that was really cool. Like that was unusual. I don't know how she knew. Because Anchorage is small, but it's not a village. It's a big city.
It's an actual town.
Yeah, it's a big so that was a shocker in a nice way. I mean, there's like ups and downs, right? There's the ups, which is like, oh, this is novel and this is wonderful. And then there's downs, which is sometimes like our humor or like the sketches that we do, they're like, well, I don't know about that. Or like
well, I don't agree.
Yeah, the response is a little dampened. So it could be a variety of reactions.
All right, so you got a show tonight. Is it sketch or improv tonight?
It is primarily sketch. It's confusing because Second City uses, we teach improv. And the reason we teach improv at Second City is a tool to create sketch. You improvise a scene, and then maybe your director goes, oh, there's a kernel of something good in there. Can we do it again? Re-improvise it, but this change the arc or change the way it ends, or like just do it again and keep playing and riffing. And then eventually, after re-improvising, then you lock in a scripted scene. So tonight, what we'll be doing is primarily scripted scenes from the Second City archive, the last 65 years of material of all the main stage shows, all the ETC shows, the resident stages. Some famous alumni, some people you've never heard of, and then like a little bit of improv. So, for example, did you guys play like scene tag where there's like two people and you're like clapping and switching?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like we'll play that, which is fully improvised, but it has clear rules. So long answer, mostly sketch. Is the short answer.
Do you prefer one to the other, sketch or improv? Personally.
Yeah. I think if I only had to do one for the rest of my life, I would pick improv. But I would really miss sketch. I really love both of them. Yeah.
The preparation, if say you're going on to a just straight improv show, what's the preparation like?
I think the most important thing is time to check in with my fellow improvisers. Even if it often doesn't involve like a formal warm up. Like you guys if you've taken an improv class, you probably learned some warm up games, like the classic one that people bag on is zip zap zop, or pass the clap or something. But even if it's just sitting around, right now we're in one of the dressing rooms, one of the 2 dressing rooms in the theater that the show is in tonight. Just some time, shooting the breeze with those people is really important, because then I don't know, it's like a really intimate thing to improvise with somebody. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like a little checked in, then it can feel odd, or it can feel like you're just the gears aren't clicking yet. So that's the most important thing. And then also, doing some hair and makeup and, warming up in the car on the way down. I don't know. I'm working on my routine right now as a newer touring company member.
The touring company and the main stage are 2 of the biggest gigs you can have in improv in Chicago. And do you personally, I'm sure those were goals as you got into it. And do you have any other goals or things that you want to achieve in improv and sketch?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, the people that that made me discover improv in the first place were like the Steves, Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert, and also like Steve Carell and Alan Arkin in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, sure.
In like the early mid 2000s. Yeah. Because that was like the first time that a movie like made me laugh really, really hard and also cry, and I was like, that can be both. And it also like felt like very cathartic and healing to me. Like it helped me feel some big feelings that I needed to feel at that time. So anyway, so I was like, all right, well, I have to make my life about being a vessel for that. So that could be a lot of things. That could be TV and movies like them. That could be, I've felt, the same thing watching solo material from like Mike Birbiglia and Maria Bamford. So it could be just live performance. Well, yeah, it could be a variety of stuff. We'll see.
Improv, such a team sport, like almost could compare it to sports itself, right? I mean, you really have to depend on your teammates.
Yeah. Our director just assigned us. We right now have a weekly assignment to watch a movie, and this upcoming week, it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Chicago. Our summer show is branded as like Chicago style. It's like Chicago centric. So she picked an iconic Chicago movie. But this past week was The Sandlot, and so we were just talking a lot about like the analogies between like the team playing in that movie, and specifically the team playing that like the arc of that movie isn't about the big game at the end and like beating the other. Like there's a tiny little beat about one team, but it's just mostly for fun, and then it's over. And most of the movie is just, it's about playing for the sake of playing, for the sake of playing, for the sake of playing. Yeah,
absolutely. You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
And finally, I want to know for people that maybe have considered getting into improv, either just to take classes, just for an activity to do, or that want to pursue it. Do you have any advice that you could offer somebody that's a novice?
Yeah. My advice would be sign up. Like just do it. It is so something I love about Chicago Improv, in addition to like, the way that it started and the ethos of it, is, and I think actually David Pasquesi of TJ and Dave said this, that, or maybe he was quoting someone else, I don't know, but in LA, you will improvise with people who hope to never improvise again. In Chicago, you will improvise with people who hope they're doing this for the rest of their lives. So yeah, like not seeing it as that jumping off point. Obviously it is. It like also is that. And like it has been that already for me. That's like improv and sketch is how I got my agent and how I got like my very first TV role. So like it's not that at all, but it started, and it is mostly about like you and your community, and you developing your own voice, developing your own personal expression. And that doesn't belong to like some celebrities, that belongs to everybody. And I think it's like part of the health of our community is like being able to, I don't know, not just connect to each other with a sense of play. Connecting with to each other with a sense of play is, there's not a lot of places you can do that. I guess you can do that in sports, but if you're not a sports person, or if you are, you can be both. You can come connect to people in that sense in improv. Yeah. So just sign up. You're gonna meet such interesting people, and you're all so brave being there. Like everybody, I specifically teach a level 1 almost every term at Second City. I think I have a chip on my shoulder about like people thinking that, put new teachers on level 1. I'm like, ooh, no. You need so much skill to be able to bring that like diversity of backgrounds and ages and intentions together. And it's a really brave group. And it's a real privilege to be there for people like taking that risk and getting out there. So yeah, do it.
Excellent. Very well said. Emily Anderson, thank you for taking a few minutes before the show tonight to chat with us on the Chicago podcast. I'll be looking for you on stage and break a leg tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Go see a show, take a class, have fun. Bye.
Straight down for Chicago when I rev to